Good morning. How is everybody? Hope everyone's doing okay. Change of scenery this morning. We are in my living room downstairs. And today we're going to talk about the next key element of my day. You'll remember when I spoke in the structure episode, there are certain things that I do every day, certainly every weekday. And we have covered the getting up early, the moving through the to-do list, and kind of making myself feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more ready for what the day is inevitably going to throw at me. And the next key element of it, some of you may remember, some of you may not, is a little 15-20 minute slot. And it's when I wake my daughter up before I go to the gym. Now, I don't need to wake my daughter up at 6:30, okay? And when I say that, I mean that I don't need to wake her up because that's what time she needs to get up in order to go to school and get ready. She could happily get up at kind of 7:15, and she'd have more than enough time. But I wake her up at about 6:30. By the time she's actually stirred and she's kind of, compos mentis, it's probably about 20 to 7. And then I sometimes jump in a car and drive to the gym at maybe, 10 to 7, 5 to 7. And you may say on the face of that, what's the point? Why would you wake your daughter up earlier than she needs to be waking up in order to just spend 10, 15 minutes with her? And the answer is really, really simple. That 10, 15 minutes is golden in the overall makeup of my day, okay? I work long hours. As I mentioned, I put my all into my work, and that 10, 15 minutes is incredibly important to me for my mental state and my chances of success in the business world. Now, there are two reasons for that, okay? The first reason is that I believe success doesn't bring you happiness, yeah? Happiness brings you success. And my daughter Eva, by and large, makes up a very large percentage of my overall happiness, okay? Being a good dad is the most important thing to me. My relationship with my daughter is the thing I hold most value to in my world, yeah? There are other things, of course, that make me happy, that I love doing. I'm not some kind of weird, obsessed dad or anything like that. It's just I know and I accept that relationship, that connection I have with Eva, again, kind of allows me to be myself, and I need that fix before I go and face the world, yeah? The second reason I've found that I slot in this little morning session with Eva is because she is one of the main things which calms my storm, yeah? I like to think of us in business and work and life, to be honest. Life in general, it's like a storm a lot of the time. You don't know what's going to happen. It's exciting, it's stressful, it's scary, it's not a storm in the kind of out and out negative respect of a storm. It's almost like a storm you want to be in most of the time, but it's a storm nevertheless. It's crazy, it's wild, it's kind of unpredictable. And what I find and what I suggest is you need to find things that calm your storm. Yeah, you need to find things that allow you to switch off from the madness, even if it's just for 10, 15 minutes. You need to find things that almost make you feel a little bit like when you are on holiday and it's a busy pool and there's music, there's people drinking, there's people dancing, it's hot, it's hectic, yeah? And then when you jump in the pool and you submerge yourself, you dive in for a period of time and everything disappears and it's just you alone, yeah? That is the equivalent of what happens when you find these calming influences in your life. And in order to have like a balanced a balanced diet of a day, if that makes sense. You need to slot these calming influences in to make sure you don't go on burnout, okay? Now, let me tell you when I first realised it was either, well, it's not just either, you know, there's other things like going to the gym, it's another calming influence. My 10 to 15 minutes of meditation is another calming influence. You gotta put these things in daily. I think a lot of people put them in, you know, at the weekend. I don't think that's good enough. Even if it is just for 10, 15 minutes, make sure it's in there daily. Because without that, I think your brain can go on overdrive and you end up just like melting your head. I'm just going to quickly tell you when I realised it was either. And I realised why it was so important to me. About probably 4 years ago, Eva was 2-3 years old. I came home from what can only be described as a really shit day. And I think this particular day was the climax of maybe a week or two of things going wrong. And it was one of those days where I seriously considered throwing the towel in. I walked in, I think I was on the stiff drinks by about 5:15, and I knew it was going to be a long night. And I was really, really down. I was considering all sorts of weird and wonderful options. You know those days when you start to think, I wonder how much I'd get paid if I just went and did this for somebody. Got me holiday, got me sick pay, you know, all that, yeah. So I was there. And Anna was doing her best, but you know, you hurt the people that you're closest to. So there's nothing any of them can say that calms you down. And Eva walked over with a Peppa Pig kids hairdressing set. Peppa Pig hairdryer, curling tongs, straighteners. And she looked up at me and she said, "Daddy, can I do your hair?" Yeah, I got no hair. And she sat on my knee and she, for the best part of 10 to 15 minutes, pretended to curl, straighten, comb my imaginary, what I would consider to be probably gorgeous blonde locks. And I remember looking at her, and I remember that dust settling while she was on my knee. And I remember thinking to myself, I need as much of this as possible if I'm going to stand any chance of getting anywhere near my hopes and dreams. So remember, success does not bring you happiness. Happiness brings you success. Find what makes you happy and put it in to every single day, and you'll have a much better chance of winning. See you tomorrow.